If God has told you that you should not be in that relationship anymore, you have to leave. And stop focusing on the fact that everybody around me is in a relationship, and so what? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you had an amazing week because I did. And I just really want to say thank you for every single one that watched my last video, and for those that subscribe, I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to be talking on the book of Genesis chapter 6. I was reading the word and God revealed some things to me, and I just felt that it was actually important that I shared to someone out there. So basically, I'm going to summarize chapter 6 very quickly. The word got really corrupt, and then the Bible lets us know that God looked down upon the earth and he saw that every single thought that man had was evil. And because of the way that man was, he was very disappointed, and he felt a lot of regret. But if we keep on reading, we see, and so the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping things and birds of the earth, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Found grace in the eyes of the Lord. If you read further down, the Bible gives us the reason why Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. The Bible says that this is genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generation. He walked with God. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord because Noah was just, because he was perfect in his generation, and because he walked with God. Like I said in my last video, I'm not perfect. So I'm going to speak to you as someone that, like I said, someone that is growing daily in Christ. For me, this really opened my eyes to see that when I walk with God, you might end up being the only one walking with God. But are we willing to be like Noah and walk anyways? I mean, it must have been very hard for Noah. I mean, seeing everyone stealing, destroying things, getting wives, sleeping with women. Noah could have easily done it because everyone is doing it. But Noah said, this is not the will of God. This is not what God wants. I would walk in the will of God regardless of if everyone is doing it. And because of that, we actually have an opportunity to be alive today and live according to the will of God. Today, I just really want to speak to our spirits that God will give us that grace for us to actually walk in his will regardless of if we're the only one standing. Sometimes the purpose that God has given us, the vision that God has given us, the vision might only be yours alone and no one else, and you might not even get any support. You might not get anyone to be with you. But are you willing to walk with God regardless of if you're the only one standing or not? Because of Noah's courage, Noah's persistence, Noah's trust in God, we actually have a chance at life. Trust me, like, it's very easy to be like, okay, everyone is in a relationship, I want to be in a relationship. But today God is reminding us through the book of Genesis 6 verse 9 that sometimes maybe God wants you to be alone, and it is perfectly okay, because guess what, you're not walking with anyone in this world, you're walking with God, and that is the most important thing that you need to walk with. God is walking with you. As long as God is with you, you don't need anyone else that would oppose you. Trust me. Sometimes when you need to do things, it's not only for you. It's not for you. It's for your children. It's for the souls that God has called you to save. It's for the people that God has called you to change. And you cannot do that because you cannot afford to play with it. What has God called you to do? You might be the only one that God may have called to do a certain thing in your family, in your generation, but you have to do it, because sometimes it's not all about you to save. Because of Noah's persistence, because of Noah's focus on his work with God, we actually have a chance at life. Give someone the chance at life. Give someone a reason to worship God. Give someone a reason to praise God. Maybe it might be your purpose. It might be the thing that God has assigned you to do that would actually change someone's life for the best. That will actually change someone's life for the better. And sometimes whenever God calls you to do something, you might have to be the only one that will be standing alone. But that does not mean that you would stand failing. But because you're standing with God, you will stand strong. You will not be destroyed like the rest. Everybody's being a lawyer, everybody's being an engineer. If I'm not doing any of those courses in school, or if I'm not doing any of those programs in school, I'm not going to be anybody. Nobody's going to recognize my degree. But God has actually called you to act, or God has called you to be a teacher, or God has called you to serve people. But you're like, okay, nobody is doing this. Somebody's going to value me. People are going to laugh at me, so I'm going to do. But God has called you to do something different. You have to obey. Sometimes it would not make sense. You have to obey. God told Noah to build an ark, and Noah was just a farmer. It was very impossible. It didn't make sense, but he did it anyways. And because of that, we actually alight today. So you have to understand that sometimes whatever God has called you to do, it is not for you. It is not for you alone. It is for the people that you would change. It's for the lives that you would change. And sometimes you have to be the only one. If God has told you that you should not be in that relationship anymore, you have to leave. And stop focusing on the fact that everybody around me is in a relationship, and so what? Has called you to do something, do it. If God has called you to start something, start it, and stop wasting time. So yeah, Noah, because of Noah's love for God and his trust in God, he was not like everybody else. He was not stealing, he was not doing evil like everybody else. He was still walking with God, and because of that, he found favor, he found grace. For as many that are watching me today, and for as many that have decided to do the will of God for their life, for as many that have decided to walk justly and live justly in under the grace of God, I just really want you to know that there is something for you at the end of the day. Noah was the only person that was saved out of this entire earth. God will favor you. God will bless you. As long as you're working with him and you're doing his will for your life, you will be blessed. You'll be favored. You will never lack anything. God will never take your devotion and your goodness and your commitment to him for granted. He will never do it. So don't ever feel discouraged. Sometimes you might not see it, it might not make sense, but trust me, if you keep on going, you will find out that there is actually something at the end of the day. But trust me, don't do it because you want something at the end of the day. Do it because you love God. Do it because you trust God. Do it because you have faith in God. So when everybody around you is doing something that is not right, you don't have to do it because you know the person that you serve. So some of us, God has called us to be the ones to save our families. And maybe there is no one else to save your family, but God has called you to be an intercessor for your family. But you're out there chasing something else. That needs to stop. Because you don't know what God has planned for you. So all I'm just saying is that it is very, very important to not do what everyone else is doing. It's very important to not chase other people's passion and purpose in life. But it's very important to walk with God and walk according to the will of God. Because that was the only reason why Noah found grace in the first place. Because he was a just man. God said that he was perfect in his generation. And he walked with God. And because of that, Noah found favor. Until today, we still talk about Noah because it's just because of his devotion and his love for God that today we can actually speak. So all I'm saying is that it is very important that we try, whenever we do some things, like because you would know, that's the thing, you will know when you're not doing something right. The Spirit of God in you would always tell you that what you're doing is not right. And you have to listen. We can no longer be ignoring things anymore. We have to listen. Even if it's hard, we have to listen and obey and walk with God. Walk with God. Walk with God. Because the best work you can ever make in your life is the one that you do with God. And God blessed Noah exceedingly. God said that if you read further down, after Noah came out of the ark, God gave Noah dominion over the entire earth. So God will never take your commitment to Him for granted. What has God called you to do? Today, I just want to speak according to the will of God. Do it and don't be afraid. What are you doing that is not right in the sight of God? By the grace of God, pray that God will give you the grace to stop, and don't be afraid. Because at the end of the day, it's not just for you, but it's for those lives that you would change. It's for your children's life that you would inspire. It's for your family that you would intercede for. So even if everybody is doing it, be the one person that will stand out. So that's all I have to say for today. I really hope that somebody out there was blessed. That for as many that are lost, for as many that don't know their way, for as many that are confused about how to live their life, for as many that are be doing things because everyone else is doing it, I pray that God would touch our lives so that we can actually work and focus on our dreams and our purpose in life and not be confused. I pray that God will give us the grace to stay focused, even if there is no one standing with us and we're the only one standing alone. That God will give us the grace to stand with Him and trust Him. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. I'm so sorry, guys, that this was so intense. But I really pray that somebody's life is changed out there. Like, this is not the season for us to be one leg in and one leg out. We have to be consistent. We have to trust God. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really pray that this video helps someone out there, and till next week, have a wonderful Sunday, or a wonderful day, and a wonderful week ahead. Bye.